boys and girls. Gosh, I sure miss you guys. Leo and I wanted to read you guys a story because we've been thinking of you all so much and thinking of you guys at home. So we have a new book that none of you have seen yet. I just got it in the mail today, so it's a fresh book. It's called A Sick Day for Amos McGee. Have you ever heard of it? Should be a good one. Actually, Leo chose this book because, well, he's kind of embarrassed, but he got sick this morning, and so he wanted to read this book. So we thought this was the perfect one to read to you guys today. A Sick Day for Amos McGee, written by Philip C. Stead and illustrated by Aaron E. Stead. They both have the last name of Stead. I wonder if they're married or siblings or something. See, it's a fresh book. I have to even fold it up like that so I can open it. Amos McGee was an early riser. Every morning when the alarm clock clanged, he swung his legs out of bed and swapped his pajamas for fresh, pressed uniform. Wonder what his uniform is for. He would wind his watch and set a pot of water to boil, saying to the sugar bowl, "A spoonful for my oatmeal, please, and 2 for my teacup." Belly full and ready for the workday, he'd amble out the door. I thought it was so interesting how different his house looks than the other houses. Every day, Amos waited for the number 5 bus. "Next stop, City Zoo," the bus driver would call. "6 a.m., right on time," he'd reply. Amos had a lot to do at the zoo, but he always made time to visit his good friends. He would play chess with the elephant, who thought and thought before making a move. Run races with the tortoise, who never, ever lost. I wonder if Amos is trying very hard. Sit quietly with the penguin, who was very shy. Lend a handkerchief to the rhinoceros, who always had a runny nose. And at sunset, read stories to the owl, who was afraid of the dark. That's kind of funny, an owl who's afraid of the dark. Think about when owls have to go get their food. One day, Amos awoke with the sniffles and the sneezes and the chills. He swung his achy legs out of bed, curled them back up again, and said, "Ugh, I don't think I'll be going into work today." Meanwhile, at the zoo, the animals waited for their friend. The elephant arranged his ponds and polished his castles. The tortoise stretched his legs and limbered up. The penguin sat patiently all by himself. The rhinoceros worried that all his allergies were worsening. The owl perched atop a tall stack of storybooks, scratching his head with concern. Where is Amos? The animals wondered. The sun is setting, you can tell on the pages. Okay, so they're wondering where he is. So look what they're going to do. Later that day, oh, I love this page. Look really careful. Just see where they're standing and waiting. Now this page doesn't have any pictures or doesn't have any words, so remember you guys need to read using the pictures. Hooray! My good friends are here. The elephant prepared a game of chess. Amos thought and thought before making a move. I'm too tired to run races today, said Amos to the tortoise. Let's play hide and go seek instead. The tortoise hid inside his shell, and Amos hid beneath the covers. Amos yawned. I could use a nap. The penguin sat quietly, keeping Amos's feet warm. If you remember, the penguin is very shy. Achoo! Amos awoke with a sneeze. The rhinoceros was ready with a handkerchief. So now they're all taking care of Amos because Amos always takes care of them. I'm beginning to feel much better, thank you, said Amos to his friends. He swung his legs out of bed. Perhaps we'll share a pot of tea. I love the little tortoise carrying all the teacups on his shell. I'm sure he's very careful. Amos wound his alarm clock. It's getting late, he said. After all, we have a morning bus to catch. Now let's think, if he's planning to catch that 6 a.m. bus, do you think that he is feeling better and is going to go into work, or he's not feeling better and he's going to stay home again? I think he's feeling better. I think they nursed him back to health. He's preparing for his work day. Oh, did you see who else is watching and listening to our story? Leo. Yeah, he loves this story. After all, we have a morning bus to catch. So Amos said goodnight to the elephant, and goodnight to the tortoise, and goodnight to penguin, and goodnight to rhinoceros. Oh, and goodnight to the owl, who, knowing that Amos was afraid of the dark, read a story aloud before turning out the light. It's not really Amos who's afraid of the dark, though, is it? Oh, I love this, of them reading to him. That's sweet. The end. Oh, I just love that book. When we get back to school, we are definitely putting this in Mrs. Mullen's favorites bin, because this is a new favorite for sure. We miss you guys. I hope everyone's been outside. I hope everyone's been reading and spending lots of time with your families. I miss you terribly, but we'll keep reading and sending you guys some stories. Leo's off to chase some squirrels. I'll see you later. Bye.